Hi friends, I've got all of the inside information you need to know about Season 21 directly from the devs. Everything from the new legend to solos returning with a twist. Thanks to EA for inviting me to the Season 21 Early Access event. Now the new season, Season 21, is called Upheaval. This matches the theme of the new legend, Alter, which is actually a good place for us to start. She's definitely a villain type, maybe worse than Revenant. Her lore's really interesting. I'll do a separate lore backstory video, but essentially she travels dimensions, causing havoc in all the dimensions she goes to, and the world of Apex Legends is next. She's even had a specific target in mind. You might have guessed it, it's Horizon. Oh yeah, and she's our first Chinese legend in the game as well, so you'll hear lots of Cantonese voice lines from her. Now in terms of her abilities and what kind of legend she is, Alter's going to be a skirmisher legend, meaning she'll be able to have the passive skirmisher perk of being able to reveal care packages. Her other abilities are pretty strong as well. Her passive's kind of like a Loba mini ult. It allows you to remotely interact with the deathbox within a range and claim one item from that deathbox. Her tactical is Void Passage. It allows you to create a portal passage through a surface. The devs described it as essentially being able to create a door anywhere there isn't one. Obviously there are some limits to the distance and depth. You can target it to up to about 40 meters away and there'll be a depth of about 20 meters. So you can't go through massive mountains, but there are definitely some really cool areas where this could work well. One cool example the devs gave was being able to create a portal in the tunnel in Lava Siphon through to Harvester, which means this tactical could end up being a really great rotational tool, although bear in mind enemies will be able to pass through the Void portal as well. Her ultimate's going to be Void Nexus. It allows you to create a regroup point that allies can interact with to get back to the location you place your ultimate endpoint. It's kind of like a backup portal in essence, and it allows you to travel through once per teammate, although it does leave a temporary residue that allows anyone to take it. Her upgrades will be a choice of better ultimate cooldown or adding recon to her tactical, which shows you enemies' health bars on the other side. The third tier choices will be either a tactical cooldown reduction or the option to make her ultimate indefinite. And that's pretty much what Alter's kit is looking like. Let's talk about the new modes coming now. Now I say new modes, this is actually a returning one, but we haven't seen it since Season 2. I'm talking about solos. It's coming back but with a few twists, and there are 3 new additions that are supposedly going to improve the way solos work. The first of these new additions is a respawn token. This is going to allow you to get back into the fight one time if you go down in the first 4 rounds. It's kind of similar to 3 strikes, how when you die you drop back in, but with this token you only get one of them. After the 4th round, if you haven't used this respawn token, then it gets converted to Evo points to level up your Evo armor. The second new addition is a new mechanic called Battle Sense. It's kind of like an indicator that appears on your HUD, and it gives you audio cues and visual cues of when certain things are happening in a nearby radius. If you've ever played Fortnite, it's a little bit like those visual indicators that you can turn on to hear when there's sounds like gunfire or footsteps near you. The devs said the idea of this mechanic is to make up for not having teammates. There was even a potential suggestion by one of the devs that if this mechanic is popular within the community, they might even roll it out to other game modes. Now my concern with that would be that it kind of masks people's poor game sense, so I hope it's not a tool that's going to lower the skill ceiling of the game and just make it so bots are instantly able to tell where you are, but definitely for solos it feels like this could be a useful little mechanic. The third thing they're bringing with solos, and this is something you've seen before, that is auto healing out of combat. This fully heals your health when you kill an enemy, or it slowly regenerates your health as long as you're not taking damage in a fight. Oh, and there is a 4th bonus element that they're also bringing in. This one you've seen before. It's fully kitted weapons being around the map. It's a little bit like Straight Shot if you played that in Season 20, where essentially you'll get a range of fully kitted weapons all the way from that white basic tier all the way up to gold. In terms of the maps, they'll also be slightly tweaking the way the maps work for solos. If you play Straight Shot again, the zones came in a lot faster in that mode, and the maps were kind of restricted in size, so that's going to apply to solos as well. Also, the lobbies are going to be slightly reduced for solos. Instead of 60 players, you'll now have 50 players in a game of solos. They did mention there will be solo challenges and badges available, so there'll be a few little benefits to playing solos as well. Additionally, the good news is solos will be in the game for a whole first half of the season. That's 6 full weeks, and it takes over the normal duos playlist. The way they talked about it, they suggested this is a test, and if solos is successful and people like it, they could bring it back permanently. Honestly, I'm really excited for solos. If you're a solo queue player like myself, this is going to be a fun opportunity where you don't have annoying teammates, where you're not having to rely on teammates. You can instead just jump into the game by yourself and maybe actually have some fun. Now in terms of other game modes coming, they didn't really talk about anything. Certainly not quads, which I know has been talked about a little bit, but they did mention Rumble would be back, although they didn't say if that's coming with 3 strikes or if it will be with a different LTM, or maybe it might even be with solos. They did say there will be a few new twists and features that come with Rumble, but they didn't say exactly what those would be. The only thing I can say about Rumble is I hope they fix it, because if you're like me, you wouldn't have been able to re-enter, or at least you could have re-entered, but then you can't actually play any Rumble games from that point. So those are the modes. Let's move on to the map updates. There's no new map like some people were suggesting. However, Broken Moon is getting some pretty big map updates. The biggest probably being that Promenade has essentially been replaced by a new POI. It's slightly flatter and definitely less cluttered than Promenade. The devs mentioned the new style of map that they've brought to Broken Moon is to try and make it feel more like an alien planet, with a little less foliage, some of the mountainous areas being destroyed, and a brand new skybox. Some other cool elements are these quarantine bubbles that have been set up, and the lore behind that is that supposedly some alien eggs have popped up, and those were caused by the portal that opened up, which you might have seen as a teaser for Season 21. A few other little tweaks they've made around Broken Moon. One of them is that they've changed how the zip rails work. There won't be quite as many leading you to the center of the map. In fact, they said there won't be any leading you to the center of the map. They'll have some around the outside POIs of the map, and then it said on some of the newer internal POIs on the inside of the map, they'll have their own self-contained zip rails. So that should help the flow of Broken Moon a little bit better. At least that's what the devs said they're hoping for. They also said they've added a few more POIs to bring the total number of POIs on Broken Moon up to 20 now. So those are the map updates. None of the other maps are getting any updates from what I've heard, so it's just going to be a big Broken Moon update. Nothing massive in terms of ranked. They said they're working on some things behind the scenes, and they're definitely working on some things to reduce cheating and boosting. However, the level requirement for ranked will stay at level 20. Also, there will be a ranked reset. Everyone's going to go back to bronze unless you were rookie last season, in which case then you'll start rookie 4. It means your day 1 ranked lobbies could be a little bit sweaty, but they said in the future they will stagger the resets so you're not being lumped in with Predators and Masters at the start of the season if you didn't get anywhere near there. Annoyingly, the ranked rewards aren't actually improving. They said the old reactive badges are coming back, which means you'll need to hit the same rank or above in both splits in order to get a reactive badge. Unfortunately, that's pretty much it in terms of ranked, so we'll have to see how that plays out. In terms of meta, the Devotion is replacing the Wingman in the care package, and they said that the Devotion will be as strong as it was last time it was in the care package, so safe to say the Devotion's going to be extremely overpowered next season. Oh, and by the way, as the Wingman's coming out of the care package, they've removed the Skull Piercer from the loot pool, and therefore the only hop up for the Wingman will be the modified boosted loader. Interestingly, they've removed the extended mag for the Wingman as well, meaning you can't increase the Wingman's ammo capacity from 6. It'll just be fixed at 6 for the whole game. They did that because they felt the Wingman was too overpowered with all the extra bullets that you could get. One other thing they've removed is the Digi threat. You know how in Season 20 you could only use it on pistols and shotguns? Well, now they've removed it completely. One great quality of life change that's coming, which I really like the sound of, is that you no longer need to grab teammates' banners before you access the deathbox. So you kind of do it simultaneously in the new season, and that will allow you to get your fast armor swaps off your teammates' deathboxes as well. On top of that, there will be a few little legend tweaks. I won't go into details of those, you can read them in the patch notes. But a few legends that will be getting some tweaks, mostly to their upgrade systems. That's Crypto, Newcastle, Catalyst, and then some small buffs to Octane, Fuse and Bloodhound. Oh, and Ashe's tactical will now be offhand, meaning you can use her tactical and fire your gun at the same time, which somehow is only just being introduced now. In terms of heirlooms and prestige skins, we know for sure there will be more Apex artifacts coming to the game though in Season 21, and they said if you pick up these other artifacts, you can actually pick up elements which will allow you to customize your artifact, because each artifact will have a power source, and you can essentially customize, I think they said something like up to 200 different variations of that artifact, so you could end up with people running around with some pretty unique looking artifacts. They also confirmed that exotic shards will be coming to the game and you could use them on the artifacts, and you can earn these exotic shards through the premium battle pass, and you can purchase them through the store with Apex coins. But don't worry, I will do a whole video explaining the exotic shards because they will work slightly differently to heirloom shards. One last interesting thing I thought I would share is that the devs were asked if there would ever be 100 player lobbies, and the devs said there were technical limitations and they weren't that keen on 100 player lobbies. So if you're one of the people hoping for big massive Apex lobbies, it looks like that's not going to come anytime soon. Anyways, those are pretty much all the important things that the devs told us about coming in Season 21. I've got some really awesome videos coming breaking down all the cool, interesting stuff you're going to need to know in Season 21, so don't forget to like and subscribe. For now though, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you later.